Hi everyone, welcome to this afternoon's live stream of the third South African interprovincial match between KZN and the Western Cape. In the North Seat we've got Imtiaz Capri, in the South Seat Maureen Naransky, West we've got Wolf Sperrin, and East we've got Di, I've forgotten her name for a second. Interesting hand to start with, off with the Imtiaz opening 1-0 trump. East having a good and passing initially. When South transferred and West passed and North completed the transfer, I think a much more flexible option for the East hand to come into this auction would have been to double. Getting partner involved in the decision-making process as to which suit we should be playing in is always a good option on these hands. So with a good values and a 5-4-3-1 shape, a singleton in the opponent's suit, we would have done better to double from the East position. We can see here that a hard fit would have probably been our prime spot from the east-west side. The play is happening quite fast, so I'm just getting my bearings and trying to follow what's been happening here. At this point in time, it looks like 3 diamonds is still a comfortable make for East-West, with the hard suit obviously solid and coming home. Declarers should lose only one more trick, probably in the club suit, with 2 clubs going away on the 4th and 5th hearts. So if we were playing 3 diamonds, making is pretty good, is fine in a teams format, but I think if we were playing in a pairs format, we would definitely have wanted to rather be in the hard fit. We would get a lot of match points for finding the right part score there. Of course, with the East and East-West, or East obviously didn't have the tools to come in the auction after a 1-0 trump opening bid. So a lot of players have adopted the style where we can't double showing a good value hand after a 1-0 trump opening bid. Okay, so West should be happy to, in any position, come into the auction here, probably with the 1 diamond bid. And I think the North hand has a pretty automatic 1-0 trump overcall. Where the East is allowed to come into this auction, maybe bidding 2 spades will be dependent on the East-West methods. Some of us play nowadays that, especially after a minor suit opening bid and a no trump overcall, we play a full version of multi-landy or Hamilton, obviously with the exception of a double being penalty orientated. So for some of us, bidding two spades would be showing spades in a minor. If we have that agreement with our partner, we can't overcall. And with a pretty nice lead and a solid suit, it might be advantageous for East-West to be defending this. Okay, so at this stage, it does. It does look, and this switch has made it much more comfortable for declarer to make his contracts. Depending on, it looks like East-West is playing natural carding, where the low spade clearly discouraged the spade lead. It's still surprising though, with such a solid or good spade holding and 5 cards in the suit, that East opted for the switch. East looks desperate to seemingly find partner's hand, having switched. He's switching for the second time now. You can see the effect of these switches. These switches could often just serve to help declarer in the play of the hand and opening up new suits. Set up two hard tricks here for declarer, and we've already seen what's happened in diamonds. So East, I do believe, should have continued with the spade from the outset. I think in the bidding, it gets highlighted for us that it's probably best in these type of situations where we do have a bit of shape in our own suits, even after a no trump opening or a no trump overcall, to try and get into the auction. East-West had a pretty good part score here in spades, and we should be encouraged to come into the bidding with our suits rather than try and defend. Often we don't get off to the right leads, and if we do get off to the wrong lead, we often give declarer the tempo to build enough tricks to make their hand. So East-West would have been a little bit better to try and come into the auction. Automatic 3 club action by West, and again a pretty automatic bid. Good 7 card suit by North, decent hand to overcall with. After our partner has preempted, if there are overcalls, we should be playing that doubles are business. We've put pressure on the opponents to make the right decision in the auction, and when they step out of line, like seemingly has happened here, we must make them pay for that. So it's not that anybody has done anything wrong in this auction, but all the actions were pretty normal. But that's the beauty of preempts and putting pressure on the opponents and getting them to quite high levels and making decisions at high levels before they know too much about the other hands. And East-West will make North pay here for stepping out of line. Interestingly enough, it looks like North will only go down one trick. So even although he walked into a pretty bad hard split and the East Hand having good values, the penalty is not too heavy. Of course, it's a pity that the North Hand somehow couldn't have found a double, which doesn't meet the hand doesn't meet the requirements for that, because I think South would have had little hesitation potentially leaving that in. That might not have been a success, with the club holding being quite weak. Take-out doubles are there to be taken out, and generally we should take them out. Okay, so with the spade finesse on sides, that's the moment of truth. One down is not a train smash for North-South. Just looking at the scoring, Western Cape at this stage leading by 7 imps, and that's courtesy of a different result on the first board, where East-West were able to find a very, very good hard contract, with the East Hand making a value double over the 1-0 trump opening bid, and them reaching a very good 4-heart contract. Another 7 imps has just come in for the Western Cape on board 2, where the East Hand, after the 1-0 trump overcall, did indeed compete to 2 spades, and they were able to win the part score battle, which gave them 7 imps. So a little small double swing on board 2 to the Western Cape. Okay, so North opening 1 diamond, a normal takeout double by the East Hand, and now of course showing extra once we make a takeout double and our partner bids 1 spade, which basically shows 0 to 8 points. If our right-hand opponent passes and we raise that to 2 spades, that does show 16 to 18 points, saying, partner, if you are potentially at the higher end of your 1 spade bid, that's 0 to 8, we might still have a game on, and that's why West had no hesitation in raising the 2 spades to 4 spades, being absolutely at the upper end of his 1 spade bid. This should still comfortably make, with declarer potentially making 5 spade tricks altogether, 3 heart tricks is 8. 2 diamond tricks potentially, and even a club trick towards the end. Although declarer will probably have to lose a heart, a club. Okay. I like the way the declarer is playing the diamonds. The diamond finesse is of course rated to be offsides. In fact, it's certainty if we look at the high card points that must be in the north hand that the diamond finesse was offside, so declarer did well here to play a diamond up to the queen. It doesn't help us to take finesses generally, that does not work. So declarer using the knowledge of exactly where most of the high outstanding cards should be is serving him well here. Declarer will of course discard a heart here and lose no further tricks. So we should get a claim pretty soon. Just coming back to East's takeout double, the hand looks pretty perfect for a takeout double over a diamond opening bid with great tolerance everywhere, especially in the majors. And then raising, finding a fit with partner and raising the spades, getting us to a pretty normal game. Okay, so for the efforts of doubling the 3 heart overcall on board 3, the east-west side got an extra 2 imps in the other room. The 3 hearts was not doubled. Just okay, so we're not playing transfers here, so this is just a normal bust. Wanting to play in spades, most of us would have transferred, of course, with 2 hearts, and then the auction would have pretty much remained the same. This has given the south hand another bite at the cherry, not being prepared to sell out to a low-level contract. Three, 4, 5. Okay, so I think a pretty decent competitive bid by South. Good diamond suit. We should be inclined not to want to sell out to the 2 level in these situations. And I think South will do pretty well here. Unfortunately, she can't get to the dummy to finesse the clubs more than once with the ace, with the queen of clubs in the east hand. She would normally, with another entry to the dummy, have been able to finesse through that queen, but I doubt whether she'll be able to do that. So all in all, declarers should lose a diamond, a spade, a heart with the finesse being offsides, and probably 2 club tricks. She will be able to throw 1 club off once she has established the 2 hearts on the table. the ace and jack, she'll be able to throw a club off. But when she then attempts to finesse a club from the table, the East hand should go in with the ace and put Eclaira back in the hand. And so she should lose 2 clubs, a heart, a spade, and a diamond. Okay, so the third spade forces, potentially forces South to trump, and with 1 trump still out against Eclaira, she'll have to draw trumps, and she might feel like she's a bit powerless at that stage, because she's out of trumps. Alternatively, she can refuse to ruff and leave East on lead, which, as the cards lie, will serve her pretty well as well. All right, so now East seemed to be a little bit end played, but should probably here have exited with a diamond, letting the Eclaira play back to her. So we can see here the opening again of a suit where we aren't sure where the high cards are located has not served the opposition too well. East has now done a considerable amount of work for the Eclaira, opening up the club suit. Saying that, though, the contract is still 1 down, because that extra spade trick that the Eclaira let go by would become the setting trick. Okay, so nothing really lost or gained by the north-south side competing to 3 diamonds. I think 2 spades would have been a comfortable make east-west. So I do suspect whatever happens at the other table, that hand should be close to a wash. All right, so again, pretty standard 1-0 trump opening bid by South should get us started. I can't see West coming into the auction, and I reckon that North will transfer to hearts and then bid his diamonds, with his eyes set on a potential slam. Unfortunately, the 1-0 trump opener just doesn't have enough of the right cards for him in this instance. Okay, so important here that you should agree with your partner. I think after the 3 diamond bid, if you're going to support the hearts, you can do so at the 3 level or the 4 level. Since we are in a game forcing situation, the 3-heart bid here should be stronger and more encouraging than 4 hearts. And with the South hand's values pretty much in the wrong place and not supporting partners' cards and suits too well, I totally agree with the 4-heart bid by South. North will soon get the message that they're off 2 key cards and stop in a comfortable 5-heart contract. So 4 hearts is what we call the principle of fast arrival. It's a way to show that we really don't think that we've got the cards to fit well with our partner's hand, and that's the right bid here. 4 spades. 4 spades would have been key card. North-South plays a form of kickback, where the suit above our trump suit is probably key card, and 4 no trump would show one of the 5 key cards. So with North being only in possession of 2 of those, he should sign off soon in 5 hearts. This hand, I think, highlights for us the value of having cards in the right place. With the North hand being pretty 2-suited in diamonds and in hearts, South unfortunately has too much wastage in the outside suits, and that is why we ultimately are lacking 2 key cards and can't bid a slam. This should be over pretty quickly after declarer has got drawn trumps. I don't think there's any threat to 5 hearts. Just coming back to the North-South auction, I prefer when we transfer to a major and then bid a minor. There's not too many auctions there where we like to introduce minors, but when we are nice and distributional after a 1-0 trump opening bid, we transfer into the major, we bid the minor, and very, very often hands like that does have a bit of slam interest. The reason for that is that well, now we have a very interesting situation where I think North-South is actually going down. They're losing a heart trick. South was obviously worried about a potential heart promotion or rough from East, and therefore went in with the King of Hearts when when West returned the 3rd club. Sorry. So just coming back to the Normally when we get a transfer to a major and a bit of a minor, I prefer those auctions to have a little bit of slam interest. Otherwise, we have other options available. We can transfer to the major and just bid 3-0 trump, which basically says partner just choose a contract between 3-0 trump and the major. So very often when we transfer to the major and bid a minor, there's slam overtones with such a hand. Not too much blame for North still looking for the slam in view of his partner's 4-heart bid. I mean, he's got a pretty potent hand, and knowing that he's got a hard fit, even with a relatively minimum hand that might have bid 4 hearts, it is conceivable that a slam still had good prospects. So we can't blame North for making one more try. A lot of us nowadays employ a form of two-way check-back, where two diamonds is a game-forcing check-back, saying to our partner we want to be in game, and then as the opener just describes her hand more. Here, the two-no trumper denies either three hearts or four spades, and will lead to the normal contract of three-no trump. So where the north hand initially, when partner opened the bidding, might have had a few slam ideas with a very good 17 points, just bidding one heart, and then learning that partner's got a balanced pretty much 12 to 14 opening hand, would have killed all those ambitions. Okay, so a lot of players in these situations prefer to lead the unbid major. We can see here that a diamond lead might have worked slightly better, but nothing wrong with the spade lead. It won't cost us a trick, and we'll start building partners, jack of spades, into a trick, sitting over the king. 1, 2, 5s. I suspect Ictero will duck this, because from the lead from Queen Jack normally has the queen. The lead of the queen normally has the jack with it. So Ictero would have high hopes here that the jack is in fact in the west hand and run the lead around to her 10. I'm not sure what East would do here. It looks pretty daunting to exit either with the heart or with the diamond. East can of course not play another spade back. Okay, so board 5, as expected, was a wash, where the other side did playing 2 spades and was it was a comfortable make. Okay, from here on, I think the limit of the hand, pretty much looks like 5 heart tricks, 2 spade tricks, 2 club tricks, and a diamond. So 10 tricks looks pretty normal. Just coming back to the play on board 6, I think Ictero took a pretty pessimistic view of the club situation when she did go in with the King of Hearts, roughing the third club. It would have been very unlikely that the clubs were 6-2 on that hand, which would have been the only good reason for her to go up with the King of Hearts and rough, and as a rough that high. Declarer, of course, seeing all the cards, had a beautiful option that would cover him against all that. If he did exit with a small heart towards the dummy, that would mean that he would still have the Queen Jack intact later in the hand, and could then afford to ruff with the King of Hearts. But it's pretty easy in hindsight and seeing all the cards. I suspect, to keep both suits in play, Marimo doubles here. I'm not sure that I wouldn't have preferred to just bid the good spades. Of course, she's just slightly undervalued for a 2-level response after the 2-diamond bid to have bid 2 spades. Normally expecting 10 points, but with such a good suit, I might well have decided just to bid the spades. I have a feeling that she'll be pretty reluctant to just sell out to 3 diamonds. Very difficult for North to know what to do now. Of course, after the negative double, if Maureen did want to, she could now still show the spades, bidding a negative double followed by a bid of our major. Should be a weaker action than us just bidding the major initially. So she had that option as well, to just bid 3 spades after the 3 diamonds. I might well have taken a shot at that, with 4 miserable little hearts and partner not taking action over the 3 diamond bid. That would have kept us a level lower than we are at the moment in a we would have been able to stop in a 3 spade contract. And even if the opponents didn't quite get the defense right, we might have even been able to make 3 spades some days. Yeah, it looks like North-South will be at least 2 off in 4 clubs. Another heart here will again put Declarer under a bit of pressure, and with the Jack, with him roughing small and the Jack over roughing, we now another trick down. Generally not an ideal situation, ending up with 2 balanced hands at the 4 level on average points. One heart opening bid. This might very well extract a type of game forcing balanced hand raise from South. I'm not sure of their methods. Although, in all honesty, with a very, very balanced 12-point hand, I tend to devalue these hands or downgrade these hands to just invitational hands. Especially in with all our light openings floating around nowadays, these balanced 12-point hands don't always play like proper opening hands. So I think what Maureen is contemplating is whether she should force to game or invite game. I think they do play 2 over 1, so she's chosen the more aggressive option. Sorry, I think you lost me there for a moment. I think the outcome here will be a pretty normal one as well for North-South. South decided on with a really balanced hand, rather to play in 3-no trump than a 4-heart contract. And I think it's a pretty sensible option that she's just exercised. Of course, knowing that her partner is also balanced generally when he has rebid 2-no trump after a 2-diamond bid. 9 tricks on balanced hands are often easier to make than 10 in a potential suit contract, even if the suit contract is in a major. Okay, so a heart play up to the ace and a heart back to Declarer's Queen 10 will make him very happy once the king appears. So with the spades breaking, hearts coming home, Declarer should all in all have an easy way to 4 spade tricks, 4 heart tricks, and at least 2 diamond tricks. So we would have achieved here the exact same result that we would have 430 as opposed to 420 in a 4-heart contract. That's not really important in teams, but again in pairs. Without the club lead on this hand, this would have probably outscored all those in 4 hearts just making. On board 7, I think they're looking at the score sheet. North-South ended up in a 4-heart contract in a 5-2 fit. I have a feeling that something went wrong in that auction. The South hand passed, North opened a heart, and South bid 2 clubs, which I suspect North would have probably taken as a Drury bid, showing a fit in her hearts, and she went straight to 4 hearts and unfortunately went 1 down in that contract. So a nice 12 imps here for the Western Cape. Okay, so here we an over trick for North-South, and of course we know the story in West about always keeping parity with the dummy. West should really have held onto their 4th diamond to prevent Declarer from making their diamond trick. (10, 13, 14, 15, 18). I think we can see here a very reachable and potentially easy to bid 6 hearts or even 6-no trump for East-West. I suspect West here will just rebid his hearts We are in a game forcing auction generally once we've made a jump shift by the east hand. So 1 diamond, 1 heart, 3 clubs sets up a game forcing auction. 3 spades will probably just be construed as fourth suit forcing. Don't know what that would mean for most of us. Often asking for a spade stopper for no trumps. If West took East to be game forcing, I think a more accurate bid on that hand would just be to repeat the hearts, since we of course can't pass below a slam. Maybe that was not part of their agreements. East's 3 no trump action seems pretty standard, although if 3 spades was asking for a stopper, we can't really regard the king as a stopper. So maybe 3 spades is natural in this auction for this pair. Okay, so not knowing that there's any form of a heart fit, West, I think, has taken the most logical option to go to 6 no trumps. And the play should be over relatively soon on a non-diamond lead, which is impossible to find here. I think Declarer will very soon be claiming 13 tricks with the clubs coming in. So we've got 6 club tricks, 6 heart tricks, 5 club tricks, and at least 2 spade tricks. A lot of us with the east hand, even with up to 18 points, and in view of a singleton king of spades, I don't think it's automatic for all of us to have created a game forcing jump shift. Remember, our partner, the west hand, could have just had a pretty average 5-6 points, in which case game might well not be on. So jump shifting with 18 points, you could do that, but you are setting up in theory a game force. And the question is always, with opposite a really average hand, do we want to game force with that hand? And I don't quite think so. So in different rooms, the auction might have been a diamond, a heart, 2 clubs, and then a 2 spade bid by probably a 4th suit forcing bid by West, and so on. So it's there could be a difference in styles here in different partnerships. The 3 club bid, admittedly, here has made life very easy to get to a slam. Okay, so a very good, nice slam reached. I think that should be duplicated one way or the other in the other room. This is the last board of the set. We'll be back with you hopefully in about 20 minutes or so. Robbie,